Welcome to the Back to Life series at BTUFF. Join us as we go behind the scenes and check out some of the best hot rod fabrication in Bakersfield at H&S Bodyworks. Hey everybody, this is Billy at BTUFF with our Back to Life program that we do with H&S Bodyworks. I'm here with George Horrigan, right?
That's right.
And man, I'll tell you, Dick said, I have something that I want you to see, a Corvette Stingray, right? 71? 71 that we painted for George a while back. 10 years ago?
10 years ago.
10 years ago, and he says, this thing's unbelievable. It's going to look like a new Corvette when you see it, and you got to go check it out. So here we are, right?
It's perfect.
I love it, man. We're going to show them this thing. Let me get just one sweep of it real quick before we get into it, because this thing is gem mint beautiful, and it is a beast what's under that hood right there. But let's get into it. How'd you get this thing?
I bought it back in '87.
Okay.
I was looking for a Corvette, and I found this. A lady was selling it. Her husband had passed away. It was his car. And she actually was selling a red 69. And that's the one I went to look at. But I saw this one there. And I asked her about it. And she said, well, it was the last car that he bought. And she wasn't sure if she was ready to sell it yet. And so I stayed after her for a couple of weeks and convinced her that I was going to buy it and love it. I wasn't going to buy it and flip it. And so she finally agreed to sell it to me. And so I bought it in July of '87. I've had it ever since.
Wow. Can we show them this thing? Let's just let's go start the front. Now, you have this paint. It looks flawless, man. Am I wrong to think that this thing looks almost as good
It does.
as the day you rolled it out at H&S?
Yeah, Dick did a phenomenal job. Fiberglass is hard to paint. And if you walk around and look at this, the paint is smooth as silk. He did a great job. And it is a 10-year-old paint job. And if you look at it, it still looks as good as it did the day I drove it out of there.
Yeah. Now, this has a monster motor. We're going to fire it up. Are you going to be able to give me a drive in this thing?
Sure,
Okay,
absolutely.
we're going to do that. But
Absolutely.
You've lowered this down,
Yeah,
right?
it's a little lower than stock.
Okay, it's a little bit lower. And those exhausts, tell me about these exhausts right here.
Okay, those were factory exhausts that you could install on 68 to 72 Corvettes.
Okay.
And it's a factory exhaust that bolts on. It's not like the tubes that run down the side that'll burn your legs. Like those things, if you touch them even when the car's been running, they're not hot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're insulated a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, they are? Okay. And now this had a 454. Did they all have 454s?
You could get two different versions, a 350 or a 454.
Okay.
And actually, this car came with an LT1 solid lifter 350. And I hurt the motor, so years ago, like 20 years ago, I took it out, and a friend of mine told me about a 69 Corvette that had been rear-ended, and they were parting it out. And this came out of a 69. It's a solid lifter 427 dressed to look like a 454.
Wow.
They look the same externally. And so I bought the motor, I rebuilt it, put it in here, and this is exactly how it would look if it was made originally with a 454.
Yeah, unbelievable. Now, this is fiberglass, right?
Yes, the whole body.
That's fiberglass, front fenders,
Yes.
rear, not the doors are fiber.
The whole body.
The whole body is,
Everything
okay.
That's steel is the frame.
Wow. Can you fire this up?
Yeah,
Just turn it on real quick. We're going to go for a ride, but I want you to hear this thing because it sounds like a race car, and I'm not even exaggerating here. Listen to this thing. That's crazy. Wow. That cam. That's cool. Man, that cam. That a stock cam that came in it? No way.
I've rebuilt it. It's a solid lifter cam.
Yeah, totally. It sounds like a race cam for sure.
And it runs great, though.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it runs great.
Yeah. Now, the top, how does the top come up and down?
There's three latches under here.
Can we see it with the top down?
It's really a pretty simple mechanism.
Oh, wow. That's cool. Man, look at that thing. I love that body line, dude. That is so cool. How does that feel, man? You're out in the open road, right? You got a lot of motor under the hood, and that's got to feel awesome, man, driving this thing.
It's a blast to drive. It's fun to drive. Even though it's, a 71, it still handles well. And I get thumbs up from car guys all the time.
Yeah, you've taken this thing on some rallies, right?
I have. I've taken it on road rallies. I recently went down to LA, and ran with a bunch of newer Corvettes, and obviously those cars have much newer technology. But this car stayed with him. We were running in the canyons, and even with these tires and the suspension, it still stayed with a lot of those cars, and it ran great. It ran cool, didn't get warm at all. It was fun to drive, and all those guys down there appreciated it.
Yeah, it looks like it's got a little bit wider tire, right?
It does. It is a little wider than stock. Yes.
Okay, is the wheel wider too?
The wheel is 8-inch. They
Okay.
came with 7-inch wheels.
Okay, so it is a little bit wider. Yeah, I love it, man. I think, you know, and I know this is just opinion, but I honestly think that this Stingray was probably the most iconic Corvette that GM put out. Is that, do you ever hear that, or is that?
Yeah, you know, it's funny because it's how the market is driven. The 63 to 67, the second version, you know, for a long time, that's all anybody wanted was those mid-year cars. And then these cars came out, and they made this body style actually from 68 to 82, but starting in 71, 72, they started backing off the horsepower. So the early ones, they call them the chrome bumpers, because in 73, they went to a half, only the rear had chrome bumpers. 74, they didn't have chrome bumpers at all. But they were still making some horsepower. And so these cars are sought after right now.
Yeah.
People love these cars.
I bet. I'm going to wrap around the back here real quick. And, but it's suspension. It handles good, right? You say going down the road?
Yes, it's got a composite rear spring that is an upgrade.
Yeah.
Handles much better. Sticks to the road a lot better. It's fun to drive. I've rebuilt the front suspension, rear suspension, so it handles much better.
You put a composite spring on the back, which is kind of like, man, they're super light. I don't know if they weigh, but it's like,
it's nothing.
When you hold it in your hand, you're floored that it holds up the back of a car.
Yeah, and it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we get a ride, right?
Absolutely.
I can't wait. Let's shut that hood. I'll get in and we'll go for a ride. It's going to be fun. So all this stuff was stock, right? It had the pouches here. You know what? These gauges look incredibly clean, right? They almost look factory new, right?
I've had all of them rebuilt.
You did? Okay, that's why.
The stereo is an aftermarket. There's something that's really interesting here that you can't really see it, but it's hard. These are lights.
Okay.
And they're fiber optic. And there's a tube that goes from each of these to all the lights around the car.
Okay.
Now, some of them have gone bad and it's very hard to replace them, but at night when we're driving the car, you can see some of these lights still come on.
Yeah.
So if I hit the brakes, for example, the brake lights will come on. So here, see left tail lamp, license plate light.
Oh, okay.
So you can tell if they're working or not.
Yeah, that's cool. And so this, obviously this pulls up,
Yes.
right? That's it. And that came stock on that shifter?
Yeah,
Okay.
and so it's a lockout shifter, so it's in first. So in order to get into reverse, you've got to pull the lock up.
Oh, okay, that's
and then
cool.
put it in, so you can't accidentally put it into reverse.
Now, did these have AC on them?
You could get AC. This car did not, because it was a solid lifter car, and you can't get AC on a solid lifter car at this time.
Okay. And these vents open up?
Yeah, they'll open up underneath there.
Oh, wow, okay. So you have
as well as
forced
these.
air inside the car. That's cool.
That's about as much as you can do, yeah.
All right, this is cool, man. You got your wiper stuff there.
Yeah.
That's cool, man. Man, it's kind of crazy because your head kind of goes.
I know.
Your head kind of goes above the like just for clearance wise, right?
Yeah.
You gotta make sure you keep it on all four, right? I mean, I'm just being real here.
The car does come with an auxiliary hardtop that bolts down.
Yeah.
That does give you a little bit more room.
Yeah, I don't know.
But you got to go with the convertible top.
All right, man. Let's hear it. Let's fire this thing up. I love it. You know what's great about that? The big block right here, carbureted big block, you're just not going to get that out of like an LS motor. You know, that feel, that sound, that everything. It just sounds awesome.
No, they just don't sound like this anymore.
No.
Now with electric cars, you can't even hear them.
Yeah.
You know, this car smells like you smell the gas.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Dude, it smells like it looks, dude.
Yep.
Oh, I love it, dude. You know what's great about this is that it's so light, right? I mean, these are light cars.
Yes, they are.
And you got big tires on there, big motor on there, and you put it all together, and it's like you're wearing it, man.
You are. I told somebody once, you don't get out, you take it off.
Right.
Yeah.
People love this car when you drive it. I know
They
it.
do. People do. They drive anywhere, go to the gas station, people love this thing.
Oh, I love this, dude. Wow. Yeah, that is great. Man, it feels like you're in a rally race, man. Just driving this thing around.
It's a sensory thing. There's no doubt. Like, and with the 4-speed, you can control the car a lot better. You know,
and it's kind of a tight car, right? I mean, me and you are sitting pretty close together.
Yeah.
The door is right on my elbow.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I mean. It feels like you're just tucked in this. Yeah, that is great.
It's a fun car to drive. I mean, you know, in its day, it was one of the fastest cars on the road. Today, of course, there are lots of cars that are faster, but not as many that are as fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it's still a fun car to drive.
All right. It feels nostalgic.
It is. Yeah, it is. Car guys often give me thumbs up. You know, they realize that what it is. They'll ask me about it. And I can't tell you how many times I drive this car and people are like, how much you want for it?
Oh,
is it for sale?
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah.
I love this thing.
Yeah. I love the fender flares, man.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that sleek look over there, isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And then it's got the hood scoop. It comes back over for the motor.
Yeah. When you first drive it, you gotta get used to the big fender flares because they're big.
Yeah.
You can't miss them, you know?
That cam, man.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Oh, it's bumpy. And the car is low to the ground.
Oh yeah, we're like laying on the ground here.
Well, when we go in here, we're not going to drive over any of those speed bumps.
Okay,
because we'll
deal.
get hung up on them.
All right.
And yeah, if you get two decent-sized guys in here, there's no room.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's tight.
Yeah, with this you got to know every speed bump in town, man.
I do.
Right?
And it's 11-to-1 compression, so I have
Oh, wow.
to run a higher octane fuel, so I almost always have to put some kind of racing fuel or octane boost in it.
Yeah.
Because otherwise it'll ping.
Hang when you shut her down. Man, that cornering is unbelievable. Man, you just blew that Prius's doors off.
I hope I did.
Yeah. Wow.
It's not all the time, but often when I drive this car, people want to race it. I love the idle. I love how it sounds.
Yeah.
You know, anymore you buy an electric car or a Tesla, you just don't get that feel, the smell, the sound. You know, after I drive this car, you can smell it on me. Like you can smell the exhaust.
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's part of it.
That's part of the experience, man.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, there's a guy next to us, I won't point to him. He's like in a Toyota Camry or something.
Yeah.
He's actually looking down on us, dude.
I know.
We are that low to the ground,
We
man.
are way low to the ground.
That's crazy.
Yep. It's a blast to drive. There is a stereo. There are 4 speakers, but it's really for looks.
Yeah.
Because you can't hear it anyway. And I'd rather hear the sound of the car
Oh, yeah.
than the stereo.
Well, George, I can see why Dick wanted me to come down and take a look at this. This is a beautiful addition to their collection of cars that they've done. I'm sure for you, it's, you know, this is a lifetime achievement award right here, really, you know, and I can see you really enjoy it. And that's what, you know, that's what it's all about.
Well, Dick's a great guy. I went to him because he had a reputation for painting quality cars, and he did a phenomenal job. And I mean, look at it 10 years later, it looks just as good as it did when I picked it up.
Yeah, very cool, man. And thanks for that ride, dude. That was a lot of fun.
Thank you.
All right.
My pleasure.
All right, man. This is George. This is Billy at our Back to Life series with H&S Bodyworks.